Welcome to Tarot Tuesday for the week of November 4th. This is for Sagittarius. Sagittarius, we are in your pre-shadow to your season. You do have Mars moving into your sign today, so you will be feeling a little bit more bold than normal. We also have a full moon in Taurus tomorrow. So the last things that we need to shed, so the last things that you need to shed anyway, so it's going to double down on that pre-shadow for you of this season so that we can go fully into winter mode. We also have Venus moving into Scorpio tomorrow, so there's a lot of water energy, a lot of watery energy this week. Venus being in Scorpio, it doesn't necessarily like it there, so just know that communication, especially in relating like your closest relations, is going to feel more secretive maybe. Privacy is one thing, but the secret keeping, I think, might put people over the edge. And it's being magnified by the fact that we are entering our actual final Mercury retrograde of the year on the 9th. So a lot of that hiccups in communication, but also technology and transportation can happen in the next few weeks leading into your season. All right, there's other stuff happening, but it's more outer planet stuff, so I was just focusing on the big bits for this week for you. I'm again using the Rose Oracle deck by Rebecca Campbell. It is just somewhat of the options that I have on this trip. And so the spread we're using is going to be about your rose, bud, thorn, and seed this week. All right, so what do you have going on this week, Sagittarius? Okay, good, he moved his butt. Plant yourself here. Integration, embodiment, grounded action. So Sagittarius, and as a Sag rising, I get it. The grounding is not necessarily your forte, but this week your rose is really, you are going to integrate things better if you can really feel grounded. And so in whatever ways that you can, grounding, just being fully present in the moment, even if you are like out and about, you can always ground, finding some nature to connect to, getting into your body, eating root vegetables, eating very grounding things. Even if you're into it, getting your bare feet on the ground is a good way to ground yourself. Yeah, because your bud was growing out of this week. Trust the season, accurate. Embrace change, cycles of life, transition, growth. So yes, this is your pre-shadow. This is right before the snake gets ready to shed its skin. This is right before the winter time where all the bears are packing on that salmon and berries before they go to bed for the minute. And so Sagittarius, if you're really grounded, you're gonna really feel into the seasons. And so this full moon might be a good time to attach, that settling in to the winter time. And so full moons are a very active time for a lot of us who like to connect to those cycles, but instead of having to do these big elaborate ceremonies and things, sometimes it's literally just resting, getting the rest that you need or that you can, because full moons tend to, the word lunacy comes from full moons and it actually making people crazier. Hospitals are more active at this time. So just embracing that movement within you, that cyclic movement, and listening to your body. Because yeah, the thorn, what inhibits or can inhibit this motion? The rose garden, innocence, forgiveness, be gentle with yourself. And so forgiveness, like I said, Venus and Scorpio, this Scorpio's energy is a lot more protective and secretive, and this is where you are going to have to move into a place of, instead of hanging on to anything, fully forgiving, starting with yourself, like forgiving yourself for you know, when you're not being grounded, when you're not trusting the seasons, when you are resisting the flow of life. Be patient and forgiving and gentle with yourself. And that innocence also, just on the movement of Venus, you know, if there's things that have happened to you by others in the past, really anchor into, is this an unforgivable act? Are there places where I maybe need to clear the air? Because while Scorpio is about more privacy, it is also more direct communication. So, and I'm speaking because I doubled down on the Mercury and Venus in Scorpio, but in general, Scorpio will be direct when they need to be. So being honest is the thorn. Being honest with where you want grounding, being honest with where the transitions need to come, that is where you are this week. The seed, so what is going to grow out of acknowledging this movement. The second bloom, a second chance. It's never too late. New possibilities. So Sagittarius, if you can be gentle with yourself, ground, honor the seasons, that yeah, wintertime is about releasing things, and releasing things just don't always end up being finite. A lot of the times they can just be a transmutation. Energy is never lost, it is just transformed. So think of it as, like, an example would be when, yeah, I got a dog and gave up my freedom, my idea of freedom at the time, when I was like, oh fuck, I have to puppy proof my life now. I have to be there for this being to literally survive. All it did was, yes, this part of me that had a lot more mobility and freedom had to change, but has it inhibited my ability to have the freedoms that I do? No, it just had to change. So Sagittarius, be open to these changes, and so that second bloom is going to look like whatever it does for you, the second chance. And it's never too late. Things are always open for you anytime that you seek it out. The second that you think it into being, it's starting its motion. Its seed has been planted. Yeah. Well, that's what I have for you, Sagittarius. It is your pre-shadow, so it is, and yeah, Mercury is about to go retrograde, so things are going to be a little woo-woo for a second here, a little chaotic, but that's okay. All right, well, enjoy your pre-shadow for what it is. Shed all those things you know under this full moon, this beaver moon, and I'll see you next week. Bye.